Jack Saylor, Michigan's legendary sports writer, was also known by many as the Piano Man. We wanted you to know that, and also know that the Michigan golfer will miss the great stories, the puns, and the humorous writing of Jack Saylor. And two, we will all miss the voice and the hands that brought so much enjoyment to those that shared an evening or two with him at a piano bar somewhere in some place in time. Hundreds gathered at the funeral home and later at the Waterford Elks Club to pay their respects to Jack, his wife Joyce, and their family. The hundreds of photos scattered throughout the facility provide the catalyst for many of the stories that were told that day. There were photos of Jack with his family and wife Joyce. There were killer shots of Jack in his Navy uniform looking every bit the role of the tail gunner he was trained to be. People had stories to go with the photos of his employment, the Pontiac Press, the Detroit Times, and then finally, the Detroit Free Press. Boyhood friend Harold Horn talked about the time Jack was on strike at the Detroit Times and was putting out, quote, the sports page as an alternative paper and making good money at it. In fact, said Horn, he really was not that anxious to return to the Times as the money was that good. Other photos had him pictured with basketball, football players, and people in other sports. We must remember that Jack was awarded the Michigan Sports Writer of the Year award very early in his career. He had the credentials of a great sports writer. Most of the stories that day were about Jack and golf. He was a fair golfer, playing at one time to a 10 handicap. He was not long off the tee, but he kept the ball in play and had a nice game around the green. Dan McClain once told him, Jack, you play a pretty good golf game for a guy that has 11-inch inseam. Jack was a walking Adobe Photoshop. He was kind of a fashion plate in reverse, but a fashion plate nonetheless. His golf outfits were such a visual challenge that they could actually damage retinas. Finally, there was a photo of Jack at his beloved keyboard, which we used as our cover shot on the Michigan golfer. Jack was good for someone with no formal training. So good that during the same Detroit Times strike, Jack was hired to be the piano man in a downtown Detroit watering hole. In a recent article by Joanne Barnes of the Detroit Free Press, she quoted Jack's pal and fellow writer George Sweda. Sweda said, it was no secret that Jack, who never learned to read music, was known as the best piano-playing golf writer in the beat. He was awesome, Sweda said. He literally closed places like Pinehurst. I remember him playing one time on Easter Sunday at Spring Island in South Carolina, on a course that Arnold Palmer designed, with Arnold singing alongside of him. Another time we were at the Mission Inn in Carmel, California at 1 in the morning when Clint Eastwood walked in and Jack played for another hour. Dave Richards talked about the time they stopped by the Pinecrest Inn at Pinehurst, and there was Jack entertaining the group, the Piano Man. One of his final Michigan performances was at the grand opening of the Tribute, the new Gary Koch course at the Otsego Club. After being feted by one of Michigan's great hospitality masters, Keith Gornick, members of the media retreated to the keyboard magic of Jack Saylor. Jack Saylor always finished his sessions with a theme song from the Mickey Mouse Club. With that in mind, we invite you to hear the AYU Quartet sing the Mickey Mouse song. Jack, we will miss you.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our family. M-I-C-K-E-Y M-O-U-S-E. Through these we've all been friends wherever we may be. M-I-C-K-E-Y M-O-U-S-E. Mickey Mouse, Mickey Mouse. Forever let us hold our banners high. Now it's time to say goodbye to all our family. M-I-C. Oh, we're gonna see you real soon. Oh, we're gonna see you real soon. K-E-Y. Why? Oh, because we love you. Oh, because we love you.